Hello and welcome to The Gathering, a news channel dedicated to magic and gathering news from around the MTG world to keep you informed. I'm your host, the Wizard of the Post, and I am here tonight for a Innistrad Midnight Hunt set booster box opening for pre-release weekend. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you don't enjoy the content, please like and subscribe anyway. So let's get started. The official box opening knife has gone by the wayside. The clip finally broke off on it the last time I tried to fix it. And so I have to remove a screw and fix it back. So we're using Granddad's old Leatherman Wave. So let's get started. I have not gone through and spoiled myself with spoilers this time. So this will be interesting. We'll do commons on the first couple of packs, and then we will go from there. There we go. Human token, nothing major. What's this? Ooh, I like the art card. One of the cool, dope new forests. Secrets of the Key, investigate. The spell is cast from a graveyard, investigate twice instead. Flashback 4, flip the switch. What the dickens? Counter target spell unless its controller pays for it. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature with Decayed. Falcon Abomination. Enters the battlefield. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature with Decayed. Ritual Guardian. Coven. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, gains lifelink until end of turn. Not bad. Corpse Cobble is an additional cost to cast this spell. Sacrifice any number of creatures. Create an XX blue and black zombie creature token with Menace, where X is the total power of the sacrificed creatures. Pretty nice. That's a definite commander card. That's an ender. That's an ender. If it had a way to, if you can get it flash, you can clear a board with that one. Flesh Taker, love the art on this one. I mean, check this dude out. He has just got all the Children of the Corn vibes. All of them. Like, all of them. So we got Flesh Taker, Tireless Hauler, Vigilance Daybound, Flippy Flippy, Dire Strain Brawler, Vigilance Nightbound. Goes from a 4/5 for 5 to a 6/6. Not too shabby. Ecstatic Awakener, sacrifice another creature, draw a card, then transform him. Transforms for a 4/4 for a 1/1. Sacrifice another creature, draw a card. Wow, he replaces himself. Becomes a 4/4. And you have to sack a creature, which means you can get to trigger something else. Not bad for a common, anyway. And Bird Admirer, reach, daybound, 3/5 reach, nightbound. Not too bad. Not too bad. The rare in the pack is the Brutal Cathar. When this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Brutal Cathar, exile target creature an opponent controls until this creature leaves the battlefield. Moonrage Brute, first strike, ward 3, pay 3 life, nightbound. Not too shabby for a 3/3. And then our foilie is a Brimstone Vandal. Cool. Let's see what else we dig into. All right. Art card. We're stuck. Ooh, a foil island. Check out that art. That is just so good. Who did this one? Jonas DeRoe. You're a good one, man. You're a good one. And foil island. No way out. Target opponent discards 2 cards. And you create a zombie with Decayed. I'm detecting a theme. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 2/2 black zombie creatures with Decayed. When you do, exile up to 2 target creatures from graveyards. Eaten Alive. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature or pay 4, exile target creature or planeswalker. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Cathar Commando, flash for a 3/1. Sack it, destroy target artifact. So you flash it in for 2, declare it as a blocker, 1, sack it, destroy an artifact or enchantment. So you 2 for 1 for 3. I can't say that I'm mad about that. Firmament Sage, if it's neither day nor night, it becomes day. as it enters the battlefield. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, draw a card. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Obsessive Astronomer. If it's neither day or night, it becomes day as Obsessive Astronomer enters the battlefield. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, discard 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Nice. Nice. Our first red card. Village Watch. Haste and Daybound for 5 for a 4/3. Not great. These are all alt arts, so they need to go in their own stack. Mysterious Tome. Draw a card, transform it. Tap target non-land permanent, transform it. Oh, so it just goes back and forth. Just goes back and forth. If it transformed and kept. Tavern Ruffian, Daybound, 2/5 for 4. Tavern Smasher, Nightbound, 6/5. Not bad. Vadric, Astral Archmage. Good card. Good card. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as he enters the battlefield. Instant or sorcery spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is Valdric's power. He's a wizard. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, put a +1/+1 counter on him. I hear that might be a good thing. And a Pestilent Wolf as the foilie. So far, nothing to write home about. Vadric is very good, though. Vadric is also very good in Commander. Night and Day token. And another awesome piece of art. These art cards are probably one of my favorite things that they have implemented here as of late. Plains, Soul God Griff, Storm Rider, Candlelit, Cavalry. Where did my green go? I don't have a green one yet. So there we go. Borrowed Time. When Borrowed Time enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until Borrowed Time leaves the battlefield. Just your standard exile effect. Loyal Griff. Flash Flying 2/2 for 3. When it enters the battlefield, you return another creature you control to its owner's hand. Dualcraft Trainer. First Strike Coven. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more, it gains double strike until end of turn. Harvest Tide Infiltrator. 3/2 Trample Daybound. 4/4 Trample Nightbound. Tavern Ruffian again. Bait Hook Angler. Disturb for 2. Cast this card from your graveyard, transform for its disturb cost. Be put in your graveyard from anywhere. Exile it. 1/2 for 1/2 flyer for 2. Not too bad. Memory Deluge. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this spell. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So X is the amount of mana spent to cast the spell. So you draw 4. Or no, you look at 4, put 2 in your hand, and the other 2 on the bottom of your library. Not great, not terrible at the same time. And I love this word, defend straight. Destroy target creature without flying. Chuck them off a roof. Oh, it makes me giggle. Defenestrate yourself. Go jump off a bridge is what they're telling you to do, in case you've always wondered. Ah, the Heron. Lady Sigarda. Island, Drowned Amalgam, Revenge of the Drowned, Hedge Witch's Mask. Like the art, equipped gets +1/+1. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 4 or greater. Equip 2. So it's a sneaky. Candlegrove Witch, Audric's Outrider, Rite of Oblivion, Tovalar's Huntmaster. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 wolf creature tokens. He's a 6/6 that puts 3 bodies in the field for 6, and he's daybound. Whenever he flips, create 2 more green wolf creature tokens. Another target wolf or werewolf you control fights target creature you don't control. That's pretty solid. I can't argue with that. That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. Let's get the rares down here where they belong. And those uncommon golds up there. Brutal Cathar goes right there. Okay, we're back up to normal. Candlegrove Witch. Gains flying if you have 3 or more. Another Bait Hook Angler. Vanquish the Horde, second rare in the pack. Costs 1 less to each creature. Costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Or destroy all creatures. Ooh. And we have a foil alt art Denic Pious Apprentice. Lifelink 2/3, white and blue. Cards in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities. Disturb for 4. Flying. Whenever one or more creature cards are put into graveyards from anywhere, investigate. This ability triggers only once each turn. Would be put in the graveyard, exile it instead. Interesting. I like it, and that is some really, really, really cool art. So, you'll go right there in the cool art pile.
Okay.
The strange things that happen whenever people realize I'm streaming something. It is absolutely amazing. Buckle up, drive safe, brother. Organ Hoarder. Whoops. Component Collector. I've just chucked everything all over the table here. Component Collector, Unblinking Observer, Flare of Faith. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's human, instead it gains +3/+3 and indestructible. Not bad. Grizzly Ghoul enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature that died this turn. In green-black. Isn't there a commander that deals with creatures dying all the time? Oh, yeah, his name is the Minioplasm. I like him. Diagraph Rebirth. One less to cast for each creature that died this turn. Return target creature from a graveyard to the battlefield. Oh, everything that you just... It's back. Bird Admirer, seen it. Shady Traveler. Menace Daybound. Menace Nightbound, 4/4. 4/4 Menace is pretty good. 4/4 Menace is pretty good. Lunark Veteran. And the Luminous Phantasm. Oh, whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you gain a life, and whenever a creature leaves the battlefield, you gain a life. So he kind of splits it over. Galvanic Iteration. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. And Flashback for 1 and a blue and a red. Fundamentally better fork. Goes in that stack. Heirloom Mirror. Pay 1 life, discard a card, draw a card. Mill a card, then put a ritual counter on Heirloom Mirror. Then if it has 3 or more ritual counters on it, remove them and transform it. Inherited Fiend. Flying. Exile target creature card from a graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Inherited Fiend. Not bad. Not bad. I like the image. You can kind of see the demon hanging out in the picture there. Let me flip it up here. Let me flip it. There we go. Now you can see him. Not bad. I think that's pretty cool. And with another day-night token. Art card. Just pushing the zombie down in the grave. I love it. Forest. Foily Forest, nonetheless. Rotten Reunion. It's the... what was the old picture that had the man and the woman with the pitchfork and they're in front of their house? Americana. Picture of Americana. I think that's what it's called. Exile up to 2. Yeah, Orcish Settlers was better. Exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Create a 2/2 black zombie token with target card from a graveyard. That's actually really good. Because it lets you take out something and you can flash it back later whenever they get something else you want to get rid of. That's pretty good. That's definitely, I don't know if it'll see standard play or if it'll see Pioneer play. It'll definitely probably see Pioneer play, but it'll definitely see Commander play. That is a solid card. Our first artifact, Moonsilver Key. Sacrifice Moonsilver Key, search your library for an artifact card with a mana ability or a basic land card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. Search your library for an artifact card with a mana ability or a basic land card. Put it in your hand, then shuffle. So you can and go get Basalt Monolith. Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. Why is the camera wobbling? Oh, that's why the camera is wobbling. Oh, let's make it wobble a little bit more here for just a second. Now let's make it swing uncontrollably. Oh my gosh. Twist it. There we go. Sorry about giving everyone vertigo. Lunar Frenzy. Target creature. Stop you from swaying. Stop you from swaying. There we go. There we go. All right. Lunar Frenzy. Target creature you're controlling gets +X. It gains first strike and trample until end of turn. It's a fundamentally better Howl from Beyond in red. I can't be mad at that. I just can't be mad at that. It doesn't have a day bound restriction or a night bound restriction. That's just a fundamentally better, just kill you with a commander card. Oh, makes me giggle. Candle Grove Witch, gains flying. Shady Traveler, Menace Daybound, Menace Nightbound 4/4, not bad. Tireless Hauler. Man, we've been light on green stuff. Curse of Shaken Faith. Oh, I love this card. Whenever enchanted player casts a spell other than the first spell they cast each turn or copies a spell, Curse of Shaken Faith deals 2 damage to them. Oh, it's just a chef's kiss. It's like just ruin your day. Just ruin your day. Ruin it. Join the dance. Foily. Do. Foil Swamp. Wow, like most of these lands have been foil so far. Plummet. We've all seen it 1,010 times. Shipwreck Sifters. Draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever you discard a spirit card with Disturb, or a card with Disturb, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Geist Wave. Bramble Armor. Enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. I like effects like this on equipment. When it enters the battlefield, just attach it to something. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. Solid. Dryad's Revival. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand for 3. Flashback it for 5. Not terrible. Should have been 2 at an uncommon, though. Or no. Regrowth was 2 at rare. So, yeah, that's okay at uncommon. Broodweaver. It's another option in Commander. So, it's another regrowth effect out of Commander to get something out of your graveyard to start your combo again. Hound Tamer. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. That's pretty solid. Other werewolves you control have trample and put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So, oh, he's a lord. Or he's a weird lord. He's like a trample lord. It's pretty cool. Devoted Graphkeeper. When he enters the battlefield, mill 2 cards. Whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard, tap target creature you don't control. Can block only creatures with flying. Departed Soulkeeper. Oh, he's on a heron. That's pretty cool. I dig it. Harvest Tide Infiltrator. Trample Daybound 3/2. Trample Nightbound 4/4. Kind of standard fare. Willowgeist. Love this guy. He's a tree folk spirit. When one or more cards leave your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Willowgeist. When it dies, you gain life equal to its power. Yeah. Firmament Sage. And we're on to the next. Oops. You go over here. Let's see. Dope. I think we've seen that card. Can't remember what it was. Another Swamp. Hobbling Zombie. Siege Zombie. Clarion Cathars. Storm Skrillex. Seize the Storm. Create a red elemental creature token with trample and This creature's power and toughness is equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard, plus the number of cards with flashback you own in exile. It's expensive. That's all I'll say about it. It's expensive. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant or sorcery card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. Adeline, alternate art, non-foil. Resplendent Cathar. Power is equal to the number of creatures you control. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. So, it's kind of like... what's the card's name? The Blossom. No, the red chick, 5 colors tap, double the number of warriors that are attacking, or what? Or no, 5 and untap all creatures, and there's another combat phase. Najila, that's her name. Najila, yeah. So she's like a white Najila, which is pretty cool, and she has vigilance, so she doesn't tap to attack. For each opponent, create a 1/1 white creature token that's tapped attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. So you have a bunch of 1/1s running to their death, but it's still kind of interesting. Dawnheart Rejuvenator, Harvesttide Infiltrator, Tainted Adversary, a mythic in a pack we already got a rare out of. Death Touch, 2/3 for 2, 1 and a black. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 any number of times. You may pay this cost 1 or more times, or when you pay this cost 1 or more times, put up that many +1/+1 counter on Tainted Adversary. Then create twice that many black zombie creature tokens with Decayed. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's great. Blade Brand. Oh, we've seen that card. It's a reprint from War of the Spark. Yeah, Blade Brand is reprint from War of the Spark. So, but still, cool card. You have something Death Touch, and you draw a card so it cantrips. So, pretty interesting, to say the least. All right, another swamp. Man, what's up with all the cool art? What's up with all the cool art? This is really good. Who was that? Ryan Pancoast. Ryan, you did a good job. Devious Cover Up. Crossroads Candle Guide. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Tap 2. Add 1 mana of any color. So he's a mana filter for 4. That's on a 3/4 body. Can't say that it's great, but also there's possibilities. Timberland Guide. Rise of the Ants. Create 2 3/3 green insect creature tokens. Gain 2 life for 6. It has flashback on it, I guess. Turn the Earth. Choose up to 2 target cards in graveyards. Those owners of those cards shuffle those into the libraries. Ooh. You gain 2 life.
So you got graveyard. And let's say you want to play that card out of your graveyard. No, put it in your deck.
Yep. I don't think you can target it, though, because whenever you cast a flashback, it's no longer in your graveyard, so I don't think it can target itself.
But you can target those that, let's say Brent has something that he wants to reoccur. You target it, put it back into his library, and he's going to have to dig for it again.
Yeah. That is pretty good. Oh, list card. Eloise, Nephalia Sleuth. When another creature you control dies, investigate. Whenever you sacrifice a token, surveil 1. So this is from the list, and this is a commander card from Innistrad Midnight Hunt. So, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I'm setting that one off to the side by itself. Mystic Skull, tap, add 1 mana of any color. 5, tap, transform it. Lands you control have tap. Woo! Add 1 mana of any color. That's pretty dope. It like literally walks out of the inn it's on the wall of. It literally walks out of the inn it's on the wall of. Pretty funny. Bird Admirer, seen it. Oh, Intrepid Adversary, another mythic. Lifelink, 3/1 for 1 and a white. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 1 and a white any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many Valor counters on Intrepid Adversary. It gets +1/+1 for each Valor counter on Intrepid Adversary. Creatures you control get +1/+1. So it's a lord for everything that you've... It's like an every lord. And it's a human. Why would... That's insane. And it's lifelink. That's actually really good. I can't argue with that card. That's really good. A foil rare, Suspicious Stowaway, can't be blocked. When it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card, and it's daybound. And the nightbound version is it can't be blocked. When it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So all it does is make it a 2/1 rather than a 1/1 that can't be blocked, which is solid. I'm not going to argue with it. All right. Brains. He has no arm to undo the jar with the brain in it. He doesn't have another arm to undo the jar, so he's using his mouth. Poor guy. Poor guy. Startle, tapping at the window. Shadow Beast Sighting, Blessed Defiance, Dreadhound. Enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. Whenever a creature dies or a creature card is put from a graveyard into a graveyard from a library, each opponent loses 1 life. 6/6 for 6, Demon Dog. Get you some Infernal Grasp, great card, destroy target creature, you lose 2 life. Probably some of the best removal that's been printed. Double Tavern Ruffian. Double Tavern Ruffian. Back to back, same pack. Saw it cracked. You're going to see some interesting stuff in this one. Lord of the Forsaken. 6 for a 6/6. Flying Trample. Sacrifice another creature. Target player mills 3 cards. Pay 1 life. Add colorless. Spend this mana only to cast spells from your graveyard. Lord of the Forsaken is good. Trademark good. Where are we at? We're not even at the halfway mark. Why won't you open? There we go. All right, let's see. Token. Planes. A regular planes. Most of these other planes have been kind of the little dampy stuff on it. Larder Zombie. There's the card we saw. Morkrut Behemoth, Blood Pact, Might of the Old Ways, Thermal Alchemist, Cathartic Pyre, Spell Rune Painter, Covert Cut Purse, Bird Admirer, Normal, Curse of Surveillance, enchant player at the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep any number of target players other than that player. Each draw cards equal to the number of curses attached to that player. Oh, that's a 2-headed giant card if I ever saw one. Rise of the Ants. Foil goes there. Ulvenwald Mysteries. List card. I think there was another list card in here that I've shuffled into the rest of the pile. I forgot they were in here. All right. Not seen it. Consider. Consider's a really good card. Look at the top card of your library and put that card into your graveyard, draw a card. So you look at it, decide if you want to keep it, put it into the graveyard. It's basically Surveil, but they didn't want to make Surveil an evergreen mechanic for some reason.
It's a better option.
Yep. Winterthorn Blessing, Root Roll Creeper, Village Witch, Lunark Veteran, Tavern Ruffian, Suspicious Stowaway, which we've seen, Abandon the Post, Foil, Rune Stalactite. Equip creature gets +1/+1 and is every creature type. Equip for 2. List card. And this is the guy looking at Looking at the same jar, but it's got a bug in it this time. Land, candle trap. Oh, pretty nice. Lock them up. Enchanted creature as defender, prevent all combat damage that we dealt by enchanted creature. Stuffed bear becomes a 4/4 green bear artifact creature until end of turn. Starling wolf. Pestilent, foul play. Voldaran ambusher. Mythic. Jaren corrupted bishop. Whenever Jaren corrupted bishop enters the battlefield or another non-token human you control dies, you lose 1 life and create a 1/1 white creature, human creature token. 2. Target human you control gains a life link until end of turn. Beginning of your M step, if you have exactly 13 life, you may pay 6. If you do, transform him. To Ormondal the Corruptor. Flying, trample, lifelink, sacrifice another creature, draw a card, 6/6. Yeah, that's a thing. Harvest Tide, Augur of Autumn. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play lands from the top of your library, as long as you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. That's good. And token. One thing I love about set boosters is the flat out number of rares that you get. Land, Novice Occultist, Blade Brand, Voldaran Stinger, Return to Nature, Purifying Dragon. When it attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature the fleeing player controls. If that creature is a zombie, it deals 2 damage instead. Zombie hate. Sacred Fire deals 2 damage to any target and you gain 2 life. Flash it back for 6. Bird Admirer again. Gale Drifter or Whale Drifter. That's pretty cool. Fangblade Brigand. Jaren the Corrupted Bishop. We got the regular version of old Jaren. Ormondal the Corruptor. So we got the regular version of him too. All right. Dope looking vampire. Looks like he's from Vampire the Masquerade. Flip the Switch. Falcon Abomination. Drowned Amalgam. Hedgewitch Mask. Phantom Carriage. Enters the battlefield. You may search your library for a card with flashback or disturb. Put that card into your graveyard, then shuffle. Faithful Mending. Dawnheart Mentor. Gale Drifter. Hallowed Respite. Exile target non-legendary creature, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. If it entered under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Otherwise, tap it. Just to tap a creature with multiple functions, and it has a cheap flashback of 1 and 1 blue and 1 white. All right. Werewolves. Tearing stuff up. Howl, Duel for Dominance, Gavany Trapper, Bounding Wolf, Stormkirk Blood Thief, Blood Tithe Collector. When it enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn, each opponent discards a card. Expensive. Outland Liberator, Kessig Naturalist. Geist Flame Reservoir. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a counter on it. 1 and a red. Tap, remove any number of charge counters. It deals that much damage to any target. 1 and a red. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Not bad. Definitely more of a commander card than it is a standard card, but whatever. I really think more of these cards are commander cards than they are for standard. Oh, love that art. That is really cool. Really cool. The old Eldritch Moon symbol. Pretty dope. Plains. Perforator. Famished Foragers. Eccentric Farmer. Evolving Wilds. Sunrise Cavalier. Sunset Revelry. If an opponent has more life than you, you gain 4 life. If an opponent controls more creatures than you, create 2 1/1 white creature tokens. If an opponent has more cards in hand than you, draw a card. For 2? And all of those trigger? That's, I got to admit, a pretty good card. Double Tireless Hauler. 2? I mean, apparently it's Tireless Hauler 2, Electric Boogaloo. Morning Patrol. Dire Strain Rampage. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. If a land was destroyed this way, its controller may search their library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, tap it, and shuffle. Otherwise, its controller may search the library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap it, and shuffle. So if you destroy an artifact or an enchantment, they go get a land. If you destroy a land, they go and get 2 lands. So you can nuke your own lands and ramp?
Yep.
That's hilarious.
What?
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I like that. And then a foil Ghoul Caller's Harvest. Create X22 black zombie creature tokens with Decayed, where X is half the number of creature cards in your graveyard, rounded up. And it has flashback. And that is a cold foil, stamped, inlaid foil, something or other. It feels really cool. Feels really cool. Put that down there and chuck that over there. Arlen, the Moon's Fury. Looks dope. Revenge of the Drowned, Organ Hoarder, Candle Grove Witch, Ominous Roost, Scab Wrangler, Visions of Glory. Create a white 1/1 human creature token for each creature you control. Flashback. Hey! That's pretty awesome. Create a 1/1 white creature token for each creature you control. And you can flash it back. I like it. Vision of... That's interesting. Throw these over here. Visions of Dread. Target opponent puts creature card of their choice into the graveyard, from their graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So you take something, but they get to decide what it is that you get. Candle Grove, Spell Rune, Tovolar, Dire Overlord. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more wolves or werewolves, it becomes night. Then transform any number of human werewolves you control. It becomes night immediately, and he's daybound. X, a red and a green. Target wolf or werewolf you control gains +X/+O and gains trample until end of turn. Interesting. Foil Timberland and a Belfry Spirit. When it enters the battlefield or a creature it haunts dies, create 2 1/1 black creature tokens with flying. I like that guy. Belfry Spirit. That's a list card. Belfry Spirit. Isn't that from Conspiracy? Symbol looks like Conspiracy, but I can't think of something else it might be. It says GK2 on it, so I don't know what that means. Giant wolf in a house. That's pretty cool. Mountain, Moonrager Slash, Homestead, Pax Betrayal, Hungry for More, Vampire Socialite. Menace. When it enters the battlefield, an opponent lost life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each other vampire you control. As long as an opponent lost life this turn, each other vampire you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Harvest Tide, Outlander, Delver of Secrets, baby. I forgot to even notice this guy earlier. Beginning of your upkeep, if you look at the top card of your library, you may reveal that card. If an instant or sorcery card is revealed this way, transform Delver. Flying, 3/2. Delver of Secrets. I did not even notice him earlier. I just saw the art. Angel Fire Ignition. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. It gains Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink, Indestructible, and Haste until end of turn. So it becomes Avacyn until end of turn. Unblinking Observer. Foil, and then a Will-O-Wisp. Hey, Will-O-Wisp. Nice list card.
It was from Guild Pack, the Mystery Booster, and Ravnica Alliance.
Allegiance? Oh, Ravnica Allegiance. Okay. It looked familiar. And there we go. Island. Stolen Vitality. Gets +3/+1 until end of turn. If it's your turn, that creature gains trample until end of turn. Otherwise, it gains first strike. Unitates Rush. Arrogant Outlaw. Jack-O-Lantern. Sacrifice it. Exile up to 1 target creature from a graveyard. Draw a card. Exile it from your graveyard, add 1 mana of any color. Gavany Dawnguard, Dawnheart Wardens, Curse of Obsession. Beginning of enchanted player's draw step, that player draws 2 additional cards. Beginning of enchanted player's end step, that player discards their hand. Yeah. Yeah. Smoldering Egg. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, put a number of Ember counters on Smoldering Egg equal to the number of mana spent to cast that spell. Then, if Smoldering Egg has 7 or more Ember counters on it, remove them and transform it. And it becomes a 4/4 flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, Ashmouth Dragon deals 2 damage to any target. Pretty nice. Oop, that's a rare. Goes over there. And a list card, Angel of Serenity. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile 3 other creature cards from the battlefield and or creature cards from graveyards. Return those exiled cards to their owner's hand. That pack tore funny. Let's see here. Another dope werewolf. Forest. See, some of these have the little raised, like, plasticine on them or whatever it is. Looks pretty cool. Unblinking Observer, Component Collector, Startle, Flare of Faith, Vivisection, Necrosynthesis. Enchant creature. This enchanted creature, whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, so sing your vampire. When an enchanted creature dies, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is its power. Put 1 of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Huh, that's pretty nice. I can't argue with that card. Will Help the Rock Cleaver. Whenever another zombie you control dies, if it didn't have Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature with Decayed. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a zombie. If you do, draw a card. Oops, wrong stack. Saw Bird Admirer. I mean, it's looking in that stack. Patrician Geist. Other spirits you control get +1/+1. Spirit Lord. Spells cast in your graveyard cost 1 less to cast. Flying for 2/3 for a 2/2. Pretty good card. Gavany Trapper in foil this time. 6 to go. 9 to go. 9 to go. All right. So I think we've seen the vast majority of these, or don't really care about them at this point. Heirloom Mirror again. Goes black. Harvest Tide. Adeline, Resplendent Cathar. Yep, we saw the other version of her. And then a foil Tavern Ruffian and a Graveborn Muse list card. Beginning of your upkeep, you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of zombies you control. Quick way to deck yourself and kill yourself if you have made mistakes. Or done everything right. Plains, Candle Trap, Stuffed Bear, Howl, Pestilent, 2. Tireless Hauler ×2 again. What is up with that ×2? Wake to Slaughter. Great card. Choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. An opponent chooses 1 of them. Return that card to your hand. Return the other to the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. Exiled at the beginning of the next end step. And it's always better whenever you have 2 of the same card. None of the Cathar, Mountain, Dual Trapper slash. Hey, Moonranger slash. It's Lightning Bolt. Flesh Taker, Audric's Outrider, Rise, Chaplain of Alms. Disturb 3, Ward 1, First Strike. Obliterator, Briarbridge Tracker. Vigilance, when it enters the battlefield, investigate. As long as you control a token, gets +2/+0. So it buffs itself. So, pretty good card. Buffs itself to a 4/3 right out of the gate. And as long as you keep one of those, as long as you keep the investigation token, it keeps it. Nice. Another Foily Boy land. Bat Whisperer. Enters the battlefield. An opponent lost life this turn. Create a 1/1 bat. Create a bat. Interloper. Dreadnought. Otherworldly Gaze. Mentor. Contortionist. Beloved Beggar. The Celestus. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as the Celestus enters the battlefield. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. 3 and tap. If it's night, it becomes day. Otherwise, it becomes night. Activate only as a sorcery, so you can switch it at will. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, you gain 1 life. You may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. And Blessed Defiance. I like the Celestus. It's interesting. And it works even in decks that, that don't play with day or night mechanics. Because you can go back and forth and gain cards. Olivia's Midnight Ambush. If it's not, that creature gets -13 instead. Pretty solid for a common. Join the Dance. Ritual Hunt. Visions of Dominance. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, then double the number of +1/+1 counters on it. Flashback 4/10. And it goes down based on how many times you've cast your commander. Rejuvenator, Witch, Spell Plume. Hey, a dual land. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. I expected to see more dual lands out of these pulls, but supposedly not. Art from the Lands, Mountain, Locked, Thraben, Ardent, Dawnart, Cathars, Defend the Celestus, Kessig Naturalist, Bereaved Survivor, Croaking Counterpart. Create a frog that's a copy of target non-frog creature, except it's a 1/1 green frog. Flashback for 5. And another funky foily Gisa, Glorious Resurrector. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. Beginning of your upkeep, put all creature cards exilable Gisa onto the battlefield under your control. They gain Decayed. Venerated Teacher as the list card, which is terrible unless you're playing with a bunch of level up stuff. Cool Werewolf. I gotta admit, all the art cards are awesome. Another Swamp, Unruly Mob, Defenestrate, Raise the Effigy, destroy target artifact, destroy target attacking creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Only way that could have been better is if it had draw a card on it. Moonrise, Clear Shot, Village Witch, you bind her. Baneblade Scoundrel, Demic, Pious Apprentice, Pious Apparition. We've already seen him. Chaplain of Alms and foil. 2 to go. This is the Walking House. It's so awesome. Island, Burn the Accursed, Immolation, Bandit, Silverbolt. New artifact we haven't seen. Sacrifice it, deals 3 damage to target creature. If a werewolf is dealt damage this way, destroy it. Field of Ruin. The reason that Book of Exalted Deeds gets to survive. Hound Tamer, Flame Channeler. Whenever a spell you control deals damage, put a flame counter on Embodiment of Flame. Remove a counter. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Pretty good. Sigarda's Splendor. If Sigarda's Splendor enters the battlefield, note your life total. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if your life total is greater than or equal to the last noted life total for Sigarda's Splendor. Then note your life total. Whenever you cast a white spell, you gain 1 life. So when it enters the battlefield, you write down your life total. If the next turn you have more life, you've gained a life, then you draw a card. Yep, draw a card if it goes up. So, yep. And last but not least, Mythic. Ooh, Sigarda. Oh, Sigarda art. Sigarda, Champion of Light. Maybe it's foretelling that we'll actually get the Sigarda in here. Shady Traveler. Vengeful Strangler. Nope. Deserted Beach. Second dual land. Got a second dual land. Da-da-da-da. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the box. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Again, make sure you like and subscribe to the video. If you've enjoyed yourself or if I've been boring, do it anyway. Thank you guys for tuning in. I've been your host, the Wizard of the Post, and that was a box opening.